If you want to create UGC, user-generated content, you don't need thousands of dollars worth of camera equipment or a big fancy Hollywood studio. When I started creating UGC at 56 years old, I filmed everything with my cell phone and some basic budget equipment. Today, I'm walking you through my exact setup, my pre-filming checklist, how I edit, and a little trick that I use to help me get over my fear of being on camera. Let's talk gear first. I film everything on my Samsung Galaxy 24 Ultra. My lighting is usually just natural light from outside, but I do also have a couple other lighting options. I use this a very small light that sits on my desk and is lighting me up right now. I also have this very small clip-on light, which is really great for selfies. You just clip it on your phone, so you could have it horizontal or you can have it vertical. And so it just adds a little bit more light to the setup, and it's easy to use on the go because a lot of times UGC brands want you to film selfie style. So when you're moving around, it's not as easy to keep consistent lighting. So this has been a great clip-on light. I also have a very simple $15 tripod. So it just extends out. It has the legs that expand. It has the magnetic part here, but it also has this option where if you don't have a magnetic case or on your phone, you could also clip your phone on. It folds up very small, and so I can take it with me when I'm traveling, and it's just basic. There's nothing fancy about it. I also got a set of wireless microphones. So they came with 2 microphone options. So you put this in your phone, and then you have the microphones. They are rechargeable. They cost $8.99, so there's nothing fancy about these microphones. They have a couple different top options, regular microphone, and then this one helps with the wind. But that's as fancy as it needs to be. When I first started filming, I wasn't used to the back camera because I couldn't see myself, and so it was a little confusing for me. So I bought this very simple, easy $4.99 clip-on mirror. So if I clip it on in the back, then I am able to see myself. If I clip it right next to the camera, I'm able to at least see myself that I'm there and, my hair's not standing straight up or whatever. But it just is a really great tool, and I don't use it as much anymore because I am just a little bit more comfortable. But simple, easy little tools like this have really been a lifesaver. You don't need any real fancy equipment. There's lots of it out there, but you just need gear that makes it easy enough for you to get the job done. Before I hit record on any UGC video, I have a short checklist that I go through just to make sure that I'm prepared and I don't get any surprises in the middle of filming. Number 1, most important, wipe the camera lens. You would be surprised how many fingerprints you'll get on your camera lens, both front and back. And it just a quick swipe clears that away, and you don't have to worry about foggy or weird distorted lights looking through there because the lens is dirty. And then I make sure the microphones are charged. There's nothing worse, and this has happened, where you're recording and in the middle of your recording, you're not aware of it, but the microphone has died. So when you go to get to editing, now you've only got half of your video and you have to reshoot. And then I also run a very quick 5-second test run where I have the camera set up. I know where I'm going to be. I hit record. I come in front of the camera, say a few lines, make sure everything's set up, and then I go and watch it back so I can make sure the microphone is working and that in camera I am in frame and there's no weird stuff behind me that I didn't notice. And it's just, makes it a lot better than filming a whole video and then finding that stuff wrong. When I'm filming product footage or B-roll, I try to go at it at different angles, from the front, from the side, from the top. I try to do something with the interacting with the product itself, and always make sure that you're filming more than you actually think you need. When you get to editing, it's much easier to toss out footage than it is to recreate footage that you didn't film. Don't forget to hit subscribe to Dawn Goes Wandering because I share all types of tips and how I'm creating freedom for myself in my 50s. For editing, I use CapCut, and I prefer to use it on my PC, mostly because I like the screen to be larger. It's just easier for me to see, and to make the adjustments or the cuts that I need to make instead of trying to do it on my small phone screen. Editing is one of the questions I get asked about frequently with UGC because people become intimidated by the editing process. But the great news is that most brands want very simple editing, if any editing at all. They don't want any crazy effects. You could learn the 4 basic editing moves and you'll be fine for creating UGC. One is how to trim the ends of the clips from when you're walking in screen and walking out. 2 would be how to split a clip, how to add text on screen, and how to add a pop or a sound effect. That's all. Now, one of the things that I hear most from older creators is their fear of being on camera. We didn't grow up with this camera in our face all the time and are not used to being on camera, so that's completely normal to have that fear. My secret for being more comfortable with being on camera was simply to just film myself doing everyday normal life things. Just turn on the camera and record yourself while you're driving the car and talking to yourself or singing, or record yourself while you're working and in a meeting, record yourself doing the dishes or loading the dishwasher, or just sitting around and thinking about something. Instead of just thinking it in your head, turn the camera on and think your thoughts out loud. You're not going to do anything with this footage. You're just going to use it to get yourself comfortable with how you look on camera, how your voice sounds, and it makes the camera just less of a concern or a thought. And then you can just delete the footage when you're done. This practice just desensitizes you to the camera and takes away that constant feeling of I sound terrible or I look terrible. Creating content really is a skill and it takes practice to learn it, but it is a skill that you can learn. You don't need to be a tech wizard or a 20-year-old influencer to start building a freedom stack for yourself in your 50s. You just need your phone, a little patience with yourself, and the willingness to learn something new. If you have questions about gear or CapCut or just getting started with UGC, drop them in the comments below. Tap that subscribe button to follow along. I share videos every week about solo traveling over 50, house sitting, and how I use UGC as part of a revenue stack to fund this lifestyle. Let's make midlife the adventure we choose, and I'll see you in the next wandering video.